Game Killer.
Hey everybody, Game Killer Daddy here. Today, going over a monk build that I've been running. My goal is to get to uh, the One Punch Monk done by Quinn69. He has a video of it, and it's bad to the bone. For those of you who've never seen Quinn69, if you would like to do a monk build of any kind, you need to go check him out because he's the man. He's got some pretty bad to the bone monks out there, from dashing strike to he's got, I believe that he uses the dashing strike and that armor that goes with the dashing strike. I believe it's called the God Monk. Man, that thing's fast. But this one's based off of the Sunwuko's armor, built around that, and that's what I'm gonna go over right now. Not trying to steal his idea. Well, I'm not trying to steal it. I'm trying to use it. I'm trying to get to his One Punch Monk the way he has it. But right now I'm in a season, and I haven't found everything that he has, especially on the ancient side. But I was just going to let y'all know that this is something that will work until you find all the stuff that he mentions. I will leave a link to his One Punch Monk down below so you can check it out. Go watch his videos, and that'll really help you out for the final, like the whole total build. But this is just kind of for, in the meantime, till you find everything, something that'll work. All right, let's get going. Well, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. We really appreciate it. I appreciate it. Make me feel like we're not doing this all for nothing. And yeah, so let's get going. Like I said, this is based off the Sunwuko's build armor. The two-piece sweeping wind reduces damage by 50% while active. The four-piece, every second sweeping wind spawns a decoy next to the last enemy you hit, and it taunts the enemy and explodes for 1,000% weapon damage for each stack of sweeping wind you have. This build isn't based around that, but there's a one-handed weapon out there that would work great with that. I have it, but it's not ancient. I'll show it to you in a minute when I get to my other stuff. And final, the six-piece Lashing Tail, Tempest Rush, and Wave of Light consumes a stack of Sweeping Wind to deal 3,000% increased damage. That's a lot. I believe they almost doubled it. I believe it used to be like they dealt 1,600%, somewhere around in there. So severely increased the damage. But this is my Sunwuko's set right here. My shoulders, not ancient. I just found these right before I made this video. I got it up to 48 crit damage. So I wish it came with some sort of resistance, like physical poison, anything really. I wish it came with some of that. But hopefully the next ancient piece I find will have some and have a higher crit chance and a little bit higher dexterity. It's maxed out at vitality, which is always good for survivability. The chest piece, this was probably the first ancient piece of it I found. Quinn recommended having ranged and melee reduced damage. It's just good to have for survivability anyway. The pants, it's what I've been trying my darndest to get from Kadala, some ancient ones. And I get every other set of armor pants except for Sunwuko's. We're gonna have to have a talk. But anyway, these are my pants, and you have to have an amulet, which I got lucky with. Came with 95 crit damage, pretty high dexterity for a regular legendary. It's got some fire resistance, and the gold I could care less about. and I got it up to 9.5 crit chance. I had one before it, and it was just awful. It had like life and armor and dex. So I was really happy when I found this one. It also comes with a helmet, um, and that was my helmet. But what I like to use now that I found one actually is the Zokrin's Gaze, which means wave of light now cast at your enemies. So I can cast it over here instead of having it just fire from around me. Um, so that's pretty cool. And we'll get to why that's cool in just a second when I show you my belt, which I guess we'll just jump to. Sweeping Wind gains 2 stacks every second and does not deal damage to enemies. So it pretty much stays up the whole time that Sweeping Wind is not doing damage. That's kind of why Zokrin's Gaze comes in to play. So I don't have to run up into the middle of everything. I can hang back and kill him from afar. So that's pretty cool. Also, the cool part of Zokrin's Gaze is its last primary there, increased wave of light damage up to 150%. From 125 to 150. Mine's 138, so I'm right there in the middle. So yeah, so that helps keep your stacks up, because if you start running through people, or that will decrease your stacks. You can kind of see my bar just kind of it every second it brings it back up to the top. So that's pretty cool. Bracers. Wave of Light also slows enemies by 80% for 3 seconds and deals up to 150% damage from 125 to 150. I got 136, so I'm still there in the middle, hanging in there in the middle. So that's pretty good, and it's ancient. So then let's jump to the weapon. It also has a increase wave of light damage by up to 30%. So I'm at 27% from 25 to 30. So I'll write again. I'm right there in the middle. So could be better, but it could also be worse. All right, and the big part is reduce the spirit cost of wave of light between 40 to 50%, and there I am at 46, just over half. So again, in the middle, like all my stuff's right there in the middle. And that helps because Sweeping Wind, Wave of Light costs 75 spirit. That's the biggest one out of all your secondaries. And we'll go over these in just a second. And the boots. The crudest boots. Mystic Ally summons 2 Mystic Ally that fight by your side. So we'll go over why that's important here in just a second when I go over my skills, which is coming up. I'm going to go to the cube real quick, show you what I got in the cube. Oh wait, my rings. I'm using the Avarice Band. Each time you pick up gold. Alright, sorry about that. It's like people know you're trying to make a video, so everybody in the world's going to call. Anyway, Avarice Band. Each time you pick up gold, increase your gold and health pickup radius by 1 yard for 10 seconds, stacking up to 30 times. What this means, after you kill a mob or some elites, you get their gold. It increases your pickup radius to a lot. And what that really helps after killing elites in greater rifts, and in regular rifts and in greater rifts, by picking up the progression orbs, the yellow or purple ones. You don't have to run and track them down. If you have a small pickup radius, you just move and they're just you grab them all. So you don't get any gold in greater rifts, so I guess it doesn't help there. Sorry, lied. But it definitely helps in regular rifts. You kill, you know, the mobs, the elites, and you get all the gold, and you don't have to track down the orbs, which is good for moving very quickly because on the achievements, like I'm on the destroyer, and the last one is to complete one of the conquests of this season, and one of the conquests of a season is to complete a Nephilim Rift at max level on Torment 10 within 2 minutes. That's insane. But if you go watch Quinn 69's One Punch Monk guide, it is possible, and you need a lot of cooldown to keep your dashing strike going. But I don't have a lot of that right now, so that's one reason why I use one of my skills. I'm about to get to that. Let's go on and jump to the skills. That is not skills. There we go. Wave of light, explosive light, burst of energy that deals 830 weapon damage. That's fire. Dashing strike. I use the Quicksilver light, Quicksilver rune simply for the extra charge to help me get to the next elite pack to move on down the road. If you need more movement speed, you could use this one, or if you need more attack speed, you could use Radiance. The Dashing Strike is really not a damage doer. It's mainly for getting around to the next set of elites, so that's why I use Quicksilver. Only reason. Blinding Flash. Excuse me. I use Faith in the Light. This is also what Quinn uses. It's what he recommended. You deal 29% increased damage for 3 seconds after using Blinding Flash. And you don't have to hit anybody with it. You can just be, say I want to kill Tyrael, I just hit it over here. It didn't blind him because I was too far away, but for 3 seconds I have extra damage, 29% extra damage. Bam. If you need like more spirit regen, you could put it on replenishing light. Each enemy you blind restores 10 spirit. And that'll help out there. But this is a good one to use. And that's another reason you need some cooldown, even though it's 15 seconds, but the more often you get to hit it, the more often you keep that 29% damage. Which I'm hoping to find some stuff with some cooldown soon, I hope. And Mantra of Conviction is deal enemies within 30 yards take 10% increased damage. You could use Annihilation for movement speed. I'm just using it for damage right now. I probably could use that. Only 30 yards is not very far from you. But I'm just using this for the overall damage increase. And Sweeping Wind, this is a must. You got to have it for the set. When you have it active, it deals 50% less damage. And Wave of Light that I'm using uses one of these to deal an extra 3,000% damage. It doesn't matter which one you use. I'm using Inner Storm for the 8 spirit per second regeneration, help keep my spirit up. They have to be right on top of you to freeze them or to hit, period, really. And this is kind of like a long range build, so I'm just using Inner Storm for the spirit regen, and that's also what he was using. And Mystic Ally is the air ally. You gain 100 spirit when you hit the button. That's the main reason. And instead of getting 100 spirit because of the crudest boots, now I have 2 Mystic Allies, and now I get 200% damage back. I mean, 200 spirit every time I hit the button. So I have 300 spirit right now, so I'm getting 2/3 back when I hit the button. Bang. And for my passives, for a regular riff, which I'm going to run through on this at the end just so you can see some gameplay, harmony, I was running a greater riff earlier, and that's why I have it on this and this for survivability. Um, right now at Torment 514, I can run Torment 10. I don't need near death experience. I usually put something like Seize the Initiative in there. I just put this in extra soul for the spirit regen and the extra 50 it gives you. This one I put on the Beacon of Etar just for the extra cooldown, which does help out a lot. If I had an option of using um, or if I had a Hellfire Amulet, I would have maybe that in there. But I also like to use this one sometimes for the higher rifts, mainly just for the Rift Guardian to blind him for the extra 20% damage. I would probably either use that or the Sixth Sense just for the extra protection, because he's kind of like a glass cannon when you get in the higher rifts. You know, one hit and you're either dead or almost dead. So it's a little bit more important to stay alive, because if you blind him, that procs your Bane of the Trap, and you're getting that much extra damage. But you need a little survivability too. So I'm just going to run a regular riff right now just to show you. You could probably change this out for movement speed if you wanted to. Um, we don't have any spirit generators. Maybe momentum. So, well, let's go over the cube real quick. All right, in the cube, I have a ring of royal grandeur, so I can wear the helmet, the Zokrin's Gaze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because there's only 6 pieces, so you have to have either. It took me forever to get a ring of royal grandeur, and then once I did, it was crappy, so I just threw it in the cube, so I could wear the helmet. Um, you could also, you could change this out for a higher riff. The higher greater riffs, you're probably going to want to use the Unity setup, since you can't use the Traveler's Pledge and the Compass Rose because you have to use this amulet if you're going to use this helmet. But you could use Obsidian Ring for the cooldown. I might play with that. Just if you had a really good one, you could change either one of these out or put it in here if you got a good Ring of Grandeur. Just whatever. Those are interchangeable. I really was. I was just using the Compass Rose until I found the Convention of Elements. I really missed that cooldown reduction, but this one's just a little bit better. And it does not want to give me anything higher than 45% crit damage at Kadala. I mean, not Kadala, but the Mystic. I've tried and tried. Can't tell you how much money just re-rolling one of these is going to cost. Not that I'm worried about it, but you just get tired of doing it. Anyway, back over here, I'm also using a Mage Fist, which fire skills deal 20% increased damage. I believe in his video, he was in the Quinn 69s, he was in the PTR, and I don't know if they had gave the Mage Fist this orange skill, because normally a Mage Fist, it has fire damage on it, but it's not an orange skill, something that you could put in the cube. because he recommended using the Cinder Coat, which would help reduce the cost of Wave of Light because it's a fire skill. Um, if you didn't have one of these to reduce your spirit cost, you could use a Cinder Coat. I just have one and it's fairly decent. It's not ancient, but it's pretty good. So now I'm getting another 20% increase of damage with my Mage Fist on here. And I'm using Kishiro's Blade, increase the damage of Wave of Light by 150%. When the initial impact of your Wave of Light hits 3 or fewer enemies, the damage is increased by 250%. And what he had in here was Envious Blade, gain 100% critical chance for enemies at full health. He was dashing to the next mob, throwing down the Wave of Light, and just crits everywhere because it was a new mob. He hadn't hit anybody yet. I just don't have one of those, or hadn't found one yet in this season to put in here, because I'll just quickly tell you what he was using. Go away. As his weapons were, he had an ancient Kishiro's Blade in one hand, and Ingiom, however you say that, in the other, which this really helps keep your dash and strike up. I just don't have an ancient one. I'm kind of holding out to get 2 ancients. Your skill cooldowns reduced by up to 10%, or 10 seconds, up to 10 seconds for 15 seconds after killing an elite pack. So you can dash around as far as you want for 15 seconds because it only takes 8 seconds for a cooldown of your dashing strike, and then plus whatever cooldown you have on goes with that. But this is what he was using in one hand, the Ingiom, and in the other he was using the Kishiro's Blade with the Envious Blade in the cube, so that means he wasn't using one of these, which that's probably why he might have went ahead and used the Cinder Coat, just to get that fire skill cost reduction, which that makes sense. To the weapon I was talking about that would work out probably really well with the 4-piece set of the Sunwukos is this, the Vengeful Wind. Increase the maximum stat count of Sweeping Wind by 6. So you normally have 3, you put this on, boom, in a few seconds you have 9. So that would, if I'm reading this correctly, every second Sweeping Wind spawns a decoy next to the last enemy you hit that taunts nearby enemies and then explodes for 1,000% weapon damage for each stack of Sweeping Wind you have. So if you have a total of 9 stacks, that little decoy spawn, once it exploded, would do 9,000% damage. So I might be playing with that here in the near future, seeing how that works. Like I said, I'm just kind of waiting on some ancients, and it really stinks. None of them came with a socket, and I only have 2 Ramalandi's gifts, and I'm not going to waste it on a regular. I'm going to waste it on an ancient. So now I believe that's everything. Make sure I change my skills for a regular rift. Yep. All right. Now we're just going to do a regular rift. But that's the set. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank y'all very much. We really appreciate it. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about the armor. If you're using something similar, or you got any recommendations, leave a comment below. Let me know. I'll give it a shot. And if you hadn't watched Quinn69, go check him out. Check out his one punch monk. He also has a dashing strike one that's called the God Monk, and I believe he even has a beginner's monk set that goes around the Innas, I believe. Which that's the first one the first whole piece in this season that I found, and it's probably a lot stronger than this. This one's just a lot of fun to play with. So hit that like button, and here we go on the riff. Thank y'all for hanging out and watching this video. This is Torment 10. Alright. And I'll go ahead and tell you, sometimes the actual waves that comes off the center bell do more damage than the center bell, especially on elites and rift guardians. That if you landed the center bell on top of a high rift guardian, it doesn't do anything. But if you hit them with these waves that shoot out from the middle, it does a lot of damage. See how I just grabbed the globes? It wasn't even close. Oh, come here. And I'm sorry I pick up everything. I am not one of these people that have billions of resource crafting material. I need everything I can get, so if that's... Uh-oh, hey, look at there. This weapon, maybe it's that ancient one that I was just talking about. I was running the wrong way. See, I don't have ancient everything. I'm really not even having to hit my blinding flash or my mantra. Everything's just dying. See, I don't have to even get... Hello? Like I said, it's kind of a glass cannon. You really don't want to get caught in these little explosions. Unless you just have some crazy amount of armor and stuff like that. Wow, maybe it heard me talking. Maybe it'll give me some good ones. Hey there, buddy. Sometimes this thing won't let you, well, I guess being out in the open, it will. Next time I find a wall, I'll show you. You kind of have to have a clear path to shoot, like if you're inside a castle or the barracks or something like that. You can't shoot around corners. Alright. Oh, I just heard one. Where's he at? Hey, come here. I can use some more cooldown to help keep my dashing strike up. Just keep my mobility up.
carry more.
All right, but that's pretty much the gameplay. Fast, simple, and easy. Um, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Beat on that like button. Till next time, Game Killer Daddy out. Peace and God bless.